Up there. Yeah, the 8th. Yeah, it's the 8th. Okay. Let's see. Evening, North Ferry. What's up? Yay! She doing okay in the new bed? Time for beer. Well, not the new bed, but the adjusted bed. Nice. All grown up. I'm just getting everything situated for tonight. I am tired, and I don't know. Well, I know why, but I didn't do much today, so I don't know why I'm tired. Mm-hmm. She'll be in college before you know it. Get that going. Community college, state college, Harvard. Yep. It's called scholarship and grants. Look into it now. I'm joking. I mean, not really joking. College fund. That too. Exactly. Kind of what I meant by college. I meant like after high school. The one you have now is the only one in your life that they asked me for your transcript. Yeah, oh yeah, it's easy to lie. Where is everybody? Well, I'm early. I don't want to start tonight and people showing up a little late because tonight's a little involved. Oh, okay, so Clay's not going to be here tonight? Oh, okay. Well, fine. Be that way. She didn't say anything the other day when I saw her, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. Um, And I might not have many people in here tonight because tomorrow is the holiday. So, oh, I'm not part of that. I'm not part of no nasty texts. Leave me out of that. No, I'm not doing that. I saw Crojo Mojo today, and I don't know if she will be in. She said possibly. If not, then oh well. I really need to get the music thing to work on this. I haven't actually sat down and there's some programs I need to download and settings I gotta adjust and all that. I've watched the video enough times. I'll be able to do it. I just need to go and actually do it. Maybe tonight after stream, I might try to set that up. So after the stream is done, sometime this evening, if anybody gets a message that I'm streaming, it's a test. So I'm not streaming twice in one day. Let's see here. Um, anyway, and Grammy's not here yet. Let me refresh the page. Give it a few more minutes because it's just now after 8. Hey, Sophie, how are you? I'm tired and sleepy. I was out running some errands today while tagging along with somebody to run errands this afternoon, and I'm just sleepy. And the weather's kind of gray and blah. The light makes me look all like cloudy and washed out. Wait a minute. Yeah, that might be a little better. Yeah, you get that. Have to run everywhere tomorrow and Monday. Yep. See here. Well, I guess I can start. We will start. Tonight we're doing the crow's foot lattice stitch. So let me spread it out a little bit. It's a lacy, drapey type stitch. It's intricate, but it's really not that difficult to do. There's one little weird stitch that's involved. But this is a 4-row repeat. And this stitch would be really good for shawls and wraps because it's open and airy and lacy. And a little different. It's a little unique. So let me just double check that. I gotta move that out of the way so it's not blocking my view. Okay, if anybody's crocheting along, we can get into this. This stitch is a multiple of 4. Wait, plus 4? Let me double check that. Let me just check my notes to make certain that that's yes. The multiple of 4 plus 4 for the foundation chain, even though what I read somewhere was a plus 3. Anyway, we're going to do plus 4. And if we have to take out one stitch, take out one stitch. Hey, Crojo. Like I had just started. We're doing the crow's foot lattice stitch. And I had said that this is good for a shawl or a wrap. It's a lacy stitch and drapey. Even though this yarn here, the yarn itself is not the best yarn, but it's my little scrap yarn. So it looks complicated, part of it is, but it's not too complicated. So if anybody's stitching along, it's a multiple of 4 plus 4 for the foundation chain. So you're going to make your slip knot as usual. Hold on a second. I think I'm going to try to do a giraffe or a cardinal next. I need to go to Hobby and Michael's on Monday to get more yarn. Nice. So make your slip knot, and it's a multiple of 4 plus 4. So I'm going to do 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. If anybody's crocheting along, I can sit and wait until you've got your chain. Drinky out of the way. Yeah, we were at Hobby Lobby today briefly and checking out if they had any clearance, and I went with Crojo, and she got 3 of this eyelash yarn. That was about it. Yep. At least the Hobby Lobby we went to. Thank you for the follow, Satirical Siren. And let me refresh this real quick. So, thank you for the follow. Oh, I can turn the volume up. So, you are my 100th follower. So that means in the near future, I am going to be scheduling a marathon stream. And during that stream, why does it say connecting to the chat? I'm having an issue on my end. Hold on, let me refresh the page. Okay. I think we're good. So I'm going to have a marathon stream to be announced on what day. I haven't figured out the day yet. And on the stream, I am going to be crocheting a blanket that will be donated to the Linus Project. Again, anybody who's new doesn't know what the Linus Project is. It's an organization that accepts donations of handmade new blankets, either quilted, crocheted, knitted, other types of handicrafts. However, there's a couple other different variations of it, and they will go to children from ages 0 to 18 that are seriously ill, traumatized, or otherwise in need. So it's a really good cause. So thank you, Satirical Siren, for the follow, which you've bumped me up to 100. That was my goal I set. Now I got to plan on what I'm going to do for the next milestone, which I don't know what the next milestone will be. So we'll get there. So we've got our chain. It's a multiple of 4 plus 4, so I happen to have 24. And you're going to skip 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the 5th chain, you're going to do a double crochet. So your turning chain will count as a triple crochet plus a chain. So look at it this way. We have, hey, Satirical Siren, just learning to crochet. It's so awesome that it came across your channel. Well, welcome. And if you're new here, so I stream about 4 nights a week, except this coming week. I'm streaming every night this week, starting tonight. Starting tonight, every night in a row for 9 nights, I'll be streaming. Next Monday through next Saturday is Granny Week, so we'll have a whole lot of granny stitches. Normally, I teach a stitch or a pattern and then work on another project. So the 5th chain from the hook, we've gone in and done a double crochet. The chains that you skipped is considered a turning chain. That is a triple crochet plus 1 chain. So you have a triple, a chain, then a double. So just keep that in mind. So after our double, we're going to chain 1. We're now going to skip 2 chains, and in the 3rd chain, you're going to do a single crochet. And then you're going to chain 1. So if anybody's crocheting along and needs me to repeat that or go slow, let me know. So after we've chained, we're going to skip 2 chains, and in the 3rd chain, we're going to do a variation of a shell. It's going to be a double crochet, chain 1, and in that same stitch, in that same chain, we're going to do a triple crochet in 1 chain. And also in that same stitch, we're going to do a double crochet and a chain. So this is our little shell pattern that we're going to end up doing. And then we're going to skip 2 chains on our foundation, and in the 3rd chain, we're going to do a single crochet. So that is our repeat. I don't know if this is showing up well enough. Hopefully it is. So now we're going to skip 2 chains, and in the 3rd chain, after our single crochet that we just did, you're going to do a chain. So now we're going to skip our 2 foundation chains, and in the 3rd one, we're going to put in a double crochet, chain 1. In that same foundation chain, put in a triple crochet, and a triple crochet again is you wrap it twice, go in, bring up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through the last 2. Then do a chain, and in that same stitch, that same foundation chain, you're going to do a double crochet and then chain 1. Continue the pattern. We're going to skip 2 chains, and in the 3rd chain, we're going to put in a single, and then chain 1. And now we're going to skip 2 chains. Oh, the instructions were wrong in that book. They gave me an extra chain, but that's okay. So we're going to skip 2 chains, and in the 3rd chain, we're going to put in a double crochet, one chain, and in that same chain we're going to do a triple crochet. They told me to do an additional chain, so I'm going to have to end up taking that additional chain out when I'm done. I'm not worried about it. So that is your first row. So you're just establishing this alternating pattern of tall stitches and low stitches. So it's basically you're putting in these shells, and in between they're doing a single crochet, but you're skipping 2 chains in between. Row 2 is we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So after we've done our chain 1 and turned, in the top of this triple that we did, that was our triple, in the top here, we're going to put in a single crochet. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a triple crochet into our single. So our next single was here, because this was a triple, this is a double, and right here is a single. So we're going to do a triple, and we're going to go into that single crochet stitch, which is right here. Go in and do your triple on top of the single, and then you're going to chain 1. This is the tricky part. This is the thing I had to wrap my head around. So after you've done your triple into your single, because the single from the previous row is here, let's go right on top. Then we're going to do we've done our triple, we've chained 1. We're going to do a double crochet, but instead of going into the stitch, we're going to go into the bottom 2 strands, the bottom section of our triple crochet. So if we look at our triple crochet, we've got a section here, a section here, and a section there. So right here at the base, and it helps if you turn your work, you're going to go into the chain, the bottom part of the stitch. So you're not going to go into the previous row. You're going into the bottom of the stitch you just made, of that triple crochet that you just made. Bring up a loop and finish your double crochet. That will form this Y shape. So they're not joined here at the bottom. The second one is, the double crochet is joined into the base of the triple. That just was a confusing thing that I read. I was like, oh, okay. But now I understand it. It makes sense. So after you've done that, you're going to chain 1. And then you go to this shell cluster here, and the triple here, which is the middle one, into that middle one, into the top of that, you will do a single crochet. And that is your repeat. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. We're going to do a triple into our single. So our single crochet is right here. I can go into the stitch. So we're going to do our triple, chain 1, and now we're going to do a double, but into the base of our triple we just made. So not into the row we did previously, but the stitch we just literally just made. You're going to pick up those 2 strands that are on the side at the very base of the stitch, and then just finish your double crochet. And then you're going to chain 1, and then the top of your little shell, on top of your triple, you're going to put in a single crochet. Chain 1. Now we're going to do a triple, and the triple will go onto the single here. Chain 1, and then we're going to do a double, but the double is going to go into the base strands of that triple we just made. So right onto the side, pick it up, and finish your triple. And then we're going to chain one. And then on our turning chain here, we are going to do a single crochet into the third.
Thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow, Secret Window Boutique. You're going to do your single crochet into the third chain, because we had four chains here, but into the third chain, you're going to go into the third chain of your turning chain and do a single crochet. So that is row 2. I know it's a lot to wrap your head around. Okay, now we're going to do row 3. Row 3 is we're going to chain 1 and turn. Whoops. Chain 1 and turn. We just made a single crochet here, so we're going to do a single crochet into that single crochet from the previous row. So you're going to do a single right in there. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip this space. And then in the next space, so the space that's formed by this Y grouping that we made, in that space, you're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, a triple crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. And that all goes into that space that was formed by this Y-shaped formation that's here. So your little shell is going to be into that now. And we've chained 1 after it. And then what we're going to do, let me look at my notes. Next space. We're going to skip this space. And into this single crochet that's right here, you're going to do a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 1. And we're going to skip this big space that's here on the right. And the space that's formed by the Y. In that Y, we're going to do a double, chain 1, a triple, chain 1, and a double, all in that space that's formed by that Y, which this is called the crow's foot. That's why it's called the crow's foot lattice, because this is the crow's foot. And then you're going to chain 1. And then you find the next stitch, single crochet, which is right here. So you're not going into this space, you're going into the single crochet, and you do a single crochet. And then chain 1. Again, we're going to skip this big hole, and we're going to find the hole that is formed by this Y, or this crow's foot. And in that space, we're going to do a double, chain 1, a triple, chain 1, and a double, chain 1. Now the end here, for the end, that's what, wait, 1, 2, yeah, we're in row 3. So at the end, all we're going to do is at the top here, that end stitch, there was a single crochet. We're going to put a single crochet in there to finish that. So that was row 3. There's 2 more rows for this repeat pattern. So row 4, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn our work. That chain 4 counts as a triple crochet plus 1 chain. Now what we're going to do is the 4th chain from the hook, so the very first chain that we just made in this chain grouping, we're going to do a double crochet. So you're going to go into the chain, not the row below, but that very first chain that we made in that group. Pick up the 2 strands from the chain, and yarn over, go through 2 and through 2. So we've made a crow's foot here at the very edge. And then we're going to chain. We're going to skip, where are we going to skip? Yeah, we're going to skip all these holes, and then at the top of this triple here, we're going to put in a single and chain 1. And now we're going to do a triple crochet into the single. So that these are all triples and doubles in our shell. And right here, in between our shells, there's a single crochet stitch. That's a single. So you're going to do a triple into that single. I got to get excess yarn. Chain 1, and then we're going to do a double, but again, into the base of that triple crochet. So the 2 strands that are on the very bottom segment, because it's a triple, so it's made up of 3 segments. The very bottom segment, pick up those 2 strands, yarn over, and then we'll bring up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 and through 2 because it's a double. Then we're going to chain 1, and then in our triple here, our next shell, in our triple, we're going to do a single crochet, chain 1, and again, when we come to our next single crochet, which is the short one, right here, we're going to do a triple into that stitch, chain 1, and then we're going to do a double. So we're going to wrap our hook for a double, and in the base of that triple we just made, pick up those 2 strands and finish your double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1, and at the top of the triple of the next grouping, do a single. We're here near the end, we're going to do a chain, and now we're going to do a triple, and it will go into the top of okay, so you're going to do a triple right into your very last stitch, which there's a single here. You're going to do your triple, chain 1, and then do a double into the base of that triple that you just made. So not in the row, the very first section of the bottom section of your triple crochet that you made. And it's going to be a double. And that is the end of row number 4. There's one more row to this. Row 5, you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work. This counts as a triple crochet plus a chain. So we are going into, this was the double crochet that we just did on the previous row right here. So we're going to do a double crochet into that. So this counts as a triple, the chain, and a double. This is our shell. This is going to be a shell. And then we're going to chain 1. Skip our spaces. And the next stitch will come to the top of this here. This is a single crochet. In that single crochet, you're going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 1. And then in the crow's foot, in that space for the crow's foot, we're going to do a double, chain 1, a triple, chain 1, and a double, chain 1. And then in the next single, which is right here, in that single, we're going to do a single, chain 1, and now we're going to go to the hole for the crow's foot, because there's the crow's foot. We're going to do a double into that space, chain one, triple into that space, chain one, and double into that space, chain one. Now we come to our next single crochet, which will not be the crow's foot, and it's not the space. It's the stitch on the top of this at the point there. That gets a single, and then chain one, and then this right here is a crow's foot on the edge. That crow's foot will get a double, chain one, and a triple on your edge. So your pattern will be, you're going to repeat, once you get to that point, you're going to repeat rows 2 through 5 to complete however long you want it. So the lattice part comes in because it's airy, there's lots of chains, it's very lacy, and the crow's foot, that's the crow's foot. It's this Y shape pattern of the stitch. I know there was a lot to digest and to understand, and if you're not if you weren't crocheting along, which I don't think anybody was, something you can always replay the video when it's uploaded onto YouTube. There's other people doing this stitch. It's actually in the book that's shown here. It's Crochet Stitch Dictionary by Sarah Hazel. It's good, like I said, it's good for shawls and wraps and shrugs because it's lacy, it's textured, it's delicate looking. This is a good stitch if you want to test your skills and abilities. You want to venture out besides just simple rows back and forth. So that's that. Alrighty. So, Crojo, if Crojo's still here, did you have the meme of the stream ready for tonight? Think I'll have to replay it later. It looks like a pattern I was trying to do on a project. I was having a hard time comprehending the time though. Yeah, I had, even when I was looking at the book and I was looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, now what? I got everything. It was this making this crow's foot thing. So I got the triple, and so I did the triple in the chain, and I'm like, now what do I do with this double crochet? Like, I know where do I put it? And then I was like, okay, that makes sense. Well, I try to go slow and try to explain, and also if you watch it on YouTube, again, everything's uploaded onto my YouTube channel after I'm done the stream. And with YouTube, you can adjust any video on YouTube. You can adjust the speed of it. You can make it slower. You can make it faster. You can also scrub through it if you're like, okay, I don't need this part, and you keep going. Yeah. So there's that. And you can also stop and pause it. And hey there, Grammy. Okay, so we're going to do the meme of the stream, which is a segment we do here every evening, or most evenings, that Crojo supplies. So we're going to switch on over, and I got to make the screen bigger. I found a new project to crochet. None of my 5,000 skeins of yarn are right for it. Oh, I know that. I know that so well. You got all of this yarn and you got this project, and you're like, that's not going to work, or that's not going to look good. Oh, why did I move my? I don't know why I was moving my tabletop thing. Let me move that. Before I get into the next section, the next section I'm just going to be working on my shawl pattern that I've been working on forever. Well, it's the third one. Wait, oh, I did finish that repeat. Oh no, I got one more row of that repeat. Um, Little heads up, like I said, we're doing Granny Week. Um, where's it at? We're doing Granny Week next week, starting Monday. Monday, the first square that we're doing, the beginning of it is an intro to granny squares. So if you don't know how to make a granny square, that very first beginning of it, I can show how to get it started and possibly do a couple rounds. I think that, yeah, I'll be able to do it, and I can rip part of it out. And we're doing, like I said, 6 nights of granny or granny related square type streams. And each stream will have 2 patterns that I'm going to show. So I'm excited. Got a bunch of my samples already made and ready to go. And so those of you who are new and have never and want to know what I'm working on, this is the third shawl in this pattern. This is the Fluffy Meringue Shawl by the Crochet Crowd on YouTube. Mikey's got a video about it, and there's a free downloadable pattern. I'm not able to teach how this is done because I don't have the permission from the designer, but it works up pretty good. I love the pattern and the yarn I'm using. I can never remember this one now. I happen to be using Facets by Loops and Threads, which is on Michael's line, and this is the color Summer Sunrise. It's a roving type yarn, so it doesn't have a lot of twist, but it's super soft and squishy. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm on my 13th repeat, and I think she said she wanted probably about 17 repeats. She wants this a little bit bigger than the other ones that I made. So what is everybody working on? I ask this every night. And Crojo, don't jinx me. We are not going to be frogging tonight. Not going to happen. You're peeling apples. I don't think I've ever. I don't know that stitch. What do you mean, not yet? Oh, I haven't learned that stitch yet? Grammy will have to teach me the peeling apple stitch. Working on a new stitch called Making Spaghetti. Wait, is that the actual. This. Oh, you're actually. Yeah, you said you're making dinner. Okay. We got a bunch of comedians in here. I'm like, making spaghetti. I'm like, that could be a pattern. I mean, it's like when you try to take the yarn out and you got yarn barf and you got a whole rat's nest. That could be called making spaghetti. It could. Washing pots and pans stitch. Oh, I know that stitch. Working on Scrappy Blanket for Project Linus, as well as looking for a stitch to start. No patriotic blanket. I want to donate to the VA memory of my uncle that passed away. I'm not going to make anything until I get more yarn on Monday. I need some different colors. Yeah, it's always good to get new colors and some something to inspire you by. And I'm certain you'll find a stitch or a pattern, Crojo, for a patriotic blanket. I'll have to see what I can come up with if I can find some ideas. I'm not going to make anything. Oh, I already read that. Let me at least fan that out a bit. Y'all can see what it looks like as I go. You don't want to do anything that involves a forbidden magic circle. No, you don't have to. Six, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, the magic circle, I can show you what the magic circle is. Magic circle is if you're doing any crocheting in the round, and when I mean round, that doesn't have to be a circle. It could be a square, it could be a hexagon. Um, I'll do a little sample real quick of how to do. And this is something I can also show when I do granny squares, because it's granny squares is in the round, even though it's a square. You're still working in a circular motion movement. You're not flip. Well, some of them you flip your work, but usually you don't. So I'm going to show you how to do two ways to make a your ring for a granny square. I'm going to show you one of my granny squares. This is like a preview of next week. So this is a traditional granny square. And you start in the center and you go around and then you build rows all the way around. Hey there, Fluffy. How are you? So I'm going to show you two ways to start this. The one I have here does not have a magic circle where your hole in your center is going to be open. And if you're doing a granny square that's like this, where it's the pattern of the fabric is open, then you're probably not going to want a granny square. If you're going to do a granny square, and I don't have one on hand, or anything that's round, that you want the hole in the center to be cinched up tight where you can't see through it, you'll use a magic circle. So I'm going to show you the chain ring first. So the chain ring, you're going to start with a slip knot, and you're going to chain about 4 chains. Got 4 chains. And then you're going to slip stitch into the very first chain you made. So you're going to skip all the chains next to the hook and the one next to your slip knot. You're going to put your hook in, grab the yarn, bring it through, and then bring it through the loop that's on your hook. Move your tail out of the way. And then this is going to form a ring right here. There'll be a ring. And then what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be working your stitches into that center ring. Instead of the stitches around, you're going to go right into the ring. So you don't have to worry about going in through these chains. You're going to go right into that hole. And it's different patterns of different numbers of stitches, different things you do. So when you get done, your hole is going to be open. Now, you got the magic circle down. When you mess up a lot, just means more practice. Yes, it took me a while to figure it out. So the magic circle, and I'll show you how to make a magic circle here. I can always do it next week in Granny Week. So I always put the yarn in my hand like this, put it across my two fingers, wrap it towards the back, wrap it to the front, and cross the strands with my thumb, hold where they cross, rotate my hand, put the strand in between my middle finger and my ring finger, so I have two strands. Take your hook under the first strand and over the second, bring it up and bring it around. So let me do that again. And it takes some practice. So you're going to go under the first, over the second, pull it under, and then you're going to twist it up. And then you're going to carefully remove your fingers without untwisting any of this strand. And then you're going to hold, you're going to tighten up your loop from your working yarn. So you got this big old ring, and it's kind of twisted on itself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 2, so that will be a double crochet. I'm going to put in 12 double crochets. So I'm actually going to stitch into this large ring. So that's 1. I'm going to do 11 more. So I'm going to go into this big ring. Oh, I split my yarn. So I'm going to do 11 double crochets into this big ring. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Thanks for the follow.
9. Thank you for the follow, crafting squalls. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. 10.
Thanks for the
11. 12. Thank you for the follow, Summerfelding. Wow. Nope, you're fine. You're fine. So I've got 12 double crochets, including that chain that I made at the beginning. That counts as a double crochet, all in this ring. Okay, it looks like a mess here. So what we're going to end up doing is all of that chain, leave your tail out, leave that all down, and then we're going to slip stitch to the top of that chain. There's 3 chains we made at the beginning. We're going to slip stitch into that and slip stitch it there. What's a mess to me is trying to make this dang baby blanket. Oh, if you have any pictures on it, if you would like, I do have a Discord if you want to join, and we share pictures of whips and faux. Those of you who don't know, a whip is a work in progress, and a faux, or FO, is a finished object. And anybody's free to join that, and it doesn't have to be anything crocheted. It could be anything you're working on. If you're a photographer, if you're I think there's somebody who posted some seeds that they're growing. I think my one friend posted something he's 3D printed. So I've slip stitched to close it shut, And I'm just going to do a couple chains. Oh, it's frog, you're making a yarn cake now. So we've got all of our stitches into our big loop, into our magic ring. We've slip stitched it to join, and I made a couple chains so it doesn't unravel. So then you would do however many more for your project. I could even do it now. And then when you're ready, you flip it over to the back, and this tail, this is why it's magic. You're learning crochet myself. I'm a needle felter. I have always wanted to try needle felting. I've never done it before. I think it's just so cool and cute looking, some of the things that can be made. So when you flip this over and you've got this tail, don't worry about this loop because this loop will go away here in a second. And the way it's magic is you hold it down here, and if you pull this tail, actually I'm going to hold it right here. When I pull this tail, I'm going to hold my stitches a certain way. So that loop is going away, and you pull the tail, and you pull the tail, and you pull the tail, and you keep pulling the tail. We pull the tail here. Your hole is all cinched up. And then that way, you could do, this is really good for three-dimensional things like amigurumi. So your stuffing won't fall out. It's also good if you want something to have a completely closed center. You use the magic circle. And then once you're finishing the rest of your project or whatever, when in your circle, your square, whatever it's going to be, when you're all done, most of that's already been trapped in there, but you could still take your tail and get it, put a needle, yarn needle on it, and go back in and anchor it in. So that's the magic circle. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out your stream crafting squalls. I'm gonna follow you. I'll definitely have to check it out sometime. So that's just one way of doing your centers. So you can either have a completely closed center, and my lighting is not the best here. It's better than it was. Completely closed. Or if you're going for this granny square look, a traditional granny where it's all open, you keep your center open. Should just rename all your streams to angrily crocheting. No, crochet is it's supposed to help you relax and calm. Well, it's not. We all know that's not always the case. Yeah, if you were here the other night, Thursday night, when I was working on this, the progress I made, I did almost 2 rows, and I had to frog it all out because I missed one stitch. And this pattern, you can't really miss a stitch. If you miss a chain here or there, it's fine. But if you miss one of these double crochets, good luck. But this yarn I'm using, it's a roving yarn, which means there's very little twist to it. And it's got a halo, which means it has a little bit of like a little fuzz. There's like fibers that stick up from the yarn. And this thing, when you crochet with it, it will like attach to itself, and you don't want it to rip. First time learning to chain was not relaxing. Oh, none of our first time learning to chain is relaxing. But with practice, you get better with it. Whoops. At number 9. That was going on with the pattern I'm trying. I'm having to accurately count 161 chains, so I might just do the foundational single crochet. Hey, you could do that. Hey there, Citric for Blue. How are you? Well, that's good. I'm working on the shawl as usual. And I have made it to the 100 follower mark. I'm actually at 103. Thank you, everybody who followed tonight and who's ever followed. I greatly appreciate that. So I will have to schedule sometime soon a marathon stream. And I will be making a blanket for the Linus project. You have a shawl whip too. I'm doing a German shell one. I don't know if I'm familiar with the German shell. This is the third shawl that I've made of this pattern, but first of this colorway. The original colorway was pinks and some purples and a little bit of blues in it. But same type of yarn. I know if you look up the Victoria's German shell shawl on Etsy, Joanna sells it. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look at that. Am I even halfway there? No, I'm almost halfway to this row. And I think so far everything's going good. I don't have to frog anything. This row is usually the good row. This is usually the row I don't have to rip anything out. Anybody who's new, tomorrow on Sundays, I will be doing a Sunday, even though it's a holiday. We'll be doing a stream, I should say. Same time, 8 Eastern. Sundays we do the temperature blanket. I'm working on a 2023 temperature blanket. I started at the beginning of the year. It's going to take me through the entire year. So that's a really cool project I'm working on. Mainly use up a lot of scraps. I think we're at the middle. No, we're not at the middle yet. We're almost at the middle. Come on, yarn snagged. Stitch right there. I'm kind of excited because at the end of this month, I'm going to a fiber festival. And then 2 weeks later, I'm going to a sheep and wool festival. So hopefully, I'll be able to see some really cool objects and materials. And yep, I encourage anybody who's has an interest in it to look into fiber and sheep and wool festivals in your area. I've never been to one, but I've seen enough YouTube videos of people going to different ones. They look really fun. And I know the sheep and wool festival in early May that I'm going to, they will have different breeds of sheep, and I think they'll also have alpaca and goat, I think. And they will be giving demonstrations on shearing and spinning and knitting and crocheting and weaving and all different things like that. Funnel cake, yes, I am definitely going to get funnel cake at one or maybe both of them. And maybe some other good yum yums. But this is the time of year that they do the shearing because the animals will be needing to outgrow their winter coat and it'll get kind of warm. So, this is when they tend to do all of that. And the cool thing is, the one I'm going to, the first one I'm going to, it's free to go in. And then the second one, I think it was like $10. Can't beat that. I mean, once you're there, they're going to want you to spend money, obviously.
Thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow, Electro Wendy. How are you? The piece you're working. Well, thank you. This again. This is the fluffy meringue shawl by the Crochet Crowd, and this I'm making this actually for one of my followers here. Followers here. She crochets, but she was like, "I really like that shawl," and I don't know. I don't think she's ready to attempt a pattern like this. So she really liked the yarn, and I said I would make it for her. I'm pretty good, Electro Wendy. Wendy. 5. That's what I thought too. These are definitely Mardi Gras colors. Very much Mardi Gras. Yeah, I hope the Wool Festival will not be 90 degrees. I hope both of them won't be. Love to know how to get onto your Discord. It should be popping up here in the chat. Also, it's on the About page. The link is on the channel itself. I don't know if you can access it while I'm streaming, because I don't know how it works from your end. But every now and then in the chat it'll pop up. There'll pop up a link for the YouTube channel and also another one that will pop up for the Discord. So you just keep an eye out for that. I think she's referencing the Sheep and Wool Festival that I'm going to in the beginning of May. It's called the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. I happen to be in central Maryland. It's not too far from where I live. They have them all over the country. Um, Especially if you're near a somewhat rural area, they'll most likely have some type of like that, something like that. Hey there, Jamaican Queen. How are you? On your second hexagon cardigan? Yeah, I was going to ask you how your cardigan was going because I remember you didn't you post one? It was like creams and purples, I think. You go to the Wool Festival up in Wisconsin in September. Your wife spins yarn and stuff. Nice. I've heard of Rhinebeck. That's up in New York State. I've never been. And I've heard of the one in Wisconsin. I think that's. Isn't it in Jefferson, Wisconsin? You've heard of it. Never been to one of these. Very interesting to go. Purple, gray, and white. I'm finished, but had a lot of mistakes. This one will be much better. Okay. Mistakes in projects. We had talked. A bunch of us. We had talked about this the other day in the stream. There's supposed to be some type of like an old wives' tale that if your crochet or knitted work didn't have mistakes, that means it'll be cursed. I also heard in Native American cultures when they're weaving any of their blankets or rugs or any of their Native American weaving that they purposely don't make it perfect because they say the creator is the only thing that can make things perfect. So it's okay to have mistakes. Hey there, Seagam. Outside of Wisconsin, Madison. Yes, he is here. Outside of Madison. Yes, there's a YouTuber I watch. She it's called her channel's called Jillian Eve. She spins mostly. She will knit, but most of her channel is about spinning yarn and the whole process of that, and different types of spinning wheels and spindles, and I think I think one of her videos from last year, she went to the one in outside of Madison. That's the only reason I know about it. You brought your lemon Oreos. Yeah, you told me about that. Okay, you better be careful with that Seagam. Grammy's gonna be like, you didn't bring enough for the class. Just share one or two with you and only one or two. But yeah, I've never been to a sheep and wool festival, sheep and wool festival before. But I'm really looking forward to it. Even just to go and watch some of the demonstrations. They just had YarnCon in Chicago. Oh wow! Did you go to it? Thanks so much, CM. Speaking of mistakes, how many boo-boos are permissible in a blanket that will be donated? Um, I really don't think anybody would care if there's mistakes in it if it's being donated. Yeah, I had never heard of YarnCon either. That would be a bad thing for me to go to. Because I would want everything probably. Went to one last year. It's huge. Wow. Glad I don't live near Chicago. Will the mistake affect the integrity of the. Exactly. Will the mistake affect the integrity? They said it was in Chicago. They just had it for this year. First weekend in April. Gotcha. Oh, so right after all the snow melts. Well, just before the snow melts. Guess it depends on how far you stand away from the finished item. I'm going to Google it for next year. Save money for yarn treasures and airfare. You might have to buy another suitcase when you're there to bring all your your goodies back. At least yarn is light. Wow. It can add up to a lot depending on how much you get, but each skein is usually light. And a U-Haul and drive it. Hire a tractor and trailer. Getting near the bottom of our third ball. This is probably going to take almost all four balls because the other one I made took not quite four. Regular folks don't know enough to recognize any mistakes exactly. And again, if it's being donated, the recipient isn't going to care. And the recipient will also be a child if it's for the Linus Project. So, yeah. And even if it's for any other type of charity or organization for a donation, they're not going to care if there's a mistake here and there. You are the only one that's going to know. No more important to have a soft yarn than anything. No, you mail home the yarn. Yeah. I'm starting my next repeat, which I think we're on the 14th. I don't know. Might just end up crocheting this until the end of time. It's the shawl that never ends. God, now I got a song in my head. I am using Facets by Loops and Threads. It's a Michaels brand yarn. You get it in frame. Color Summer Sunrise. It's a roving type yarn, which means it doesn't have a lot of twist to it. I don't know if you can see. Does not have a lot of twist. And you can easily untwist it, and it's just the fibers. But it also has a halo to it. And it's a size 4, but it's a very thin 4. I would consider it a weight of 3. Yes.
Thanks for the raid.
Thank you for the raid, Upcycly. Welcome. And yes, the lamb chop song. This is the shawl that will never end. We'll keep on hooking it. Just I'm not good at coming up with parody lyrics on the spot like that. I got to think about it for a while. And nobody wants to hear me sing. How was your stream, Upcycly? Wonderful Raiders, a great company making rolls for your baskets. Oh yeah, I I've got to check out your YouTube. I've been meaning to do that. I'm pretty good. I just got done showing how to do the crow's foot lattice stitch. That's what I demonstrated earlier tonight. And now I'm working on the shawl. Jaw drop? Thanks. I don't have Michael's in Sydney. Are you in Australia? Oh, wow. It must be during the day, like lunchtime maybe? Almost lunchtime? I'm not certain. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I have a friend in Hong Kong, and he is exactly 12 hours ahead of me. So, roughly, yeah. Well, welcome. Upcycle, I caught one of your YouTube videos where you're weaving the baskets from paper tube straws. Um, yeah, you don't have Michael's Arts and Crafts in Australia, but it again, it's a roving style yarn. This is the yarn that never ends, and it goes on and on, my friend. Some people found a hook and started looping knots, and then the spirit of crochet kept them hooking on and on. Okay. Would you mind if I copy that and post that in the Discord? Oh, that's funny. Uh, that is hilarious. Um, Let me just check something real quick. Um, you're Phoenix Rising, right? I think you're Phoenix Rising in the Discord. I could be wrong. So I want to credit you with the lyrics. Okay. That's pretty funny. Found a theme song. Yeah. So, Electro Wendy, what is how is the weather where you are? You guys are going into, you just had gone into fall or autumn. So it's going to get a little cooler there. We're starting to warm up here. Nice. Today was a little chilly, but it wasn't too bad. I have to get this stitch right. Yeah, it was a little overcast today, but nothing horrible. I don't have the command for the Discord um thing here in my chat. I'm not certain how to set that up. I am not far from Baltimore, Maryland, and also not far from Washington D.C. I'm about roughly an hour's drive or so, a little less than an hour's drive from Washington D.C. Yeah, the other day it was very warm here. I need to check this now before I get any further because I'm talking, and when I tend to talk, then I tend to mess up and end up having to frog. And let's try to keep that in a minimum. We're good. Oh, excuse me. I can't wait till Monday. I'm like all about this granny week. And again, if anybody who wasn't here earlier when I had talked about it, starting Monday through Saturday, well, you'll get a stream every night, and it's all granny related. In addition to tonight and tomorrow, and then I will also be streaming a week from tomorrow, so you'll get 9 streams in a row, so 9 days in a row. Afterwards, you're probably going to get sick and tired of me and never want to see my channel for a while. I'm joking when I say that. Right to the middle? Oh, I'm not even to the middle yet. Yeah, I got to look into getting the commands for the Discord and for lurking and a bunch of other things set up. I have the audio chat commands. I've got a bunch of those, but I don't have any of the other ones. Make sure I'm getting the right stitch. Yeah, I'm up here at the middle part of this row. Oh, let me show everybody what I know a bunch of you have already seen it. But here is the how long does the average project take you to complete start to finish? Depending on what it is. Um this shawl that I'm going to show you now, this pink and blue one, which is the same pattern as the one I'm working on. This one took me roughly a week or so, roughly. Um, I haven't been working on this as often as the pink one that is, so this is taking me a little longer because I got a bunch of other stuff I'm working on. Blankets, my temperature blanket doesn't count because I'm only doing that once a week. But other blankets could take me a few weeks, well, a few days if I work on it continuously. It all depends. Yeah, the pink, this one is really pretty. This one is the same type of yarn, and I don't know if they have this in Australia because this is a major line here in North America. It's Red Heart, but the line for Red Heart is Unforgettable. That's what this is. And it's in the color Red Sea. It's the same type of yarn. It's a roving yarn. And I know you can get this online here in the States. I'm assuming you could probably, I mean, obviously you can order it from the States. It's going to cost you a lot to ship. But I don't know if they sell Red Heart in Australia. I'm not familiar with any. And they have other colors too, obviously. But it's that same type of yarn. But I'm not familiar with any of the brands that you have in your country. They don't sell Red Heart? Okay. I know they sell it here in the US and I know they sell it in Canada. But I'm pretty certain that they'll have that you guys have a roving style medium weight yarn there of some sort. And this is all 100% acrylic. This does not feel like acrylic. This is very soft and silky. And the pattern I'm using actually calls for regular acrylic yarn, like a traditional acrylic. I just decided, let's see what it would work on that. And there is no like, there's a repeat to it, but it doesn't say do X amount of rows. You make it as big as you want. So it's not like you have to go to X amount of size because you can size it up however you want. It's just a triangle. It's a type of a triangular shawl. But that pink one, I've made two of those already. And I got the pink yarn at a really good price. And I got a bunch of them. I got the yarn before I even knew what I was going to do with it. And I was like, came across this pattern. Like, let's see, and it's perfect. So one of them I gave to Grammy, who's in here. One of them is going to be for my aunt. And then I got enough of that pink yarn, the pink and purples, that Crochet in here has requested one. Which I will have to start doing that one at some point. This one here is for Clay Miko. I'm making these all for, and I know these people in person. my personal life. So, and I know they all crochet, but I enjoy the stitch and I enjoy this yarn. So why not? I do wear some. I would not. I personally would not wear this shawl. It's not really my style. I know guys can wear shawls and all. This is a little too feminine. I would probably want something that's a little more masculine. But I have worn like winter hats and scarves that I've made. I've worn. I think that's the main thing. I've used blankets that I've made for myself. I'm trying to find a sweater, a cardigan sweater in a pattern that I like for myself. And this would be the time to start working on it and making it so then when it gets cooler here, I can wear it. I treat my fan club very well. Only if I know you personally and if I like you. But I've made so many hats and scarves and for myself and for others, and I've sold some, and but I've never made a sweater before. A little intimidated by it, but I know I could do it. I just got to find a pattern that I would like. I have been crocheting for roughly 20 years now. Actually, Crojo Mojo, who was here in the chat, taught me how to crochet. So we have her to thank for all of this. I want to make the hoodie sweater everyone's talking about on Facebook that Chance the Rapper had during the TV show The Voice. I'm not familiar with that. Thank you, Grabby. Yeah, definitely. I know I've seen on Facebook there's some granny square blanket that Justin Bieber's been wearing, and then everybody's trying to make one like that. And I don't know. I can't keep up with what these people are doing, wearing, and yes, I want to do that too, but I've never made a wearable and I'm a little scared. Oh. Oh, okay. Um, I made it larger. That kind of looks like It almost looks like hairpin lace. I don't know. I'll have to look at it and research more. Yeah, it could be broomstick lace too, which I had. I don't know if you were here the other sometime last week. Whenever I did, yeah, actually a week ago today, I showed how to do broomstick lace. I've shown how to do hairpin also. But yeah, it looks like either one of those, just the way the rows with the holes in it, how the loops or the strands come together, could either be broomstick or hairpin. Alrighty. The rows between our knit, it could be. I'm not certain. Alright. Oh, move the magic circle out of the way. Oh, okay. This is all I have left for this ball of yarn. When we get to the end of this, we're going to end the stream. Because I'm getting tired. Alright. So now I got to remember what to do next. Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I also have to work on stream stuff behind the scenes for next week. I got a whole bunch of stuff I got to do for Granny Week, and that's Monday. And tomorrow, it being the holiday, um, be kind of busy with family. It looks like three out of three Estonian star. What is what's 3 out of 3 Estonian star? I'm not certain what that is. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not versed on a lot of knit stitches. I mean, I know knit and purl and what a cable looks like. I don't know how to do a cable, but I know what it looks like. But that's about as far as I know. Okay. we got a little bit of frogging, but it's only this much to do. Yeah, anybody could do the frog command. At least it's not that difficult. And this yarn, oh, I spoke too soon. Too soon. Thought the yarn wasn't going to snag on itself, but it just did. Just Googled it and zoomed way in. It's knitted. Ah. Basically, crochet in three together 3 times into the same stitch. Oh, okay. We got to go back to the knit equivalent. Gotcha. That's where we got to go right back to here. That's what it looked like to me. Just started knitting, but I can see where all the stitches going into the same. Easy stitch, intimidating on the outside. Yeah, it's the case with a lot of stitches, even in crochet. It looks intimidating, but if you break it down into smaller segments, then it's really not that difficult on a lot of them. Oh, you did. Oh, yeah, the green shawl. And again, that green shawl is gorgeous. I love the stitch work, and I love that color of yarn. Yeah, if anybody is on the Discord, you'll definitely have to check out Citrix shawl that they posted. I also stuck in some 9 out of 5 stitches into. Hmm. Yeah, it's a really pretty piece of art. Okay, we're back to the end here. Go. Now we can finish it the right way. Now we can flip it. Get back on track. So yeah, like I said, after stream, I've got things I need to work on behind the scenes for next week. And it's some of the only time I'm going to be able to do it. Do a third one. You cast on another shawl already. Nice. What color this time? Go in and do this. Yellow and orange. Ooh. There. Alrighty. Shoulders are starting to hurt. Alright. Am I gonna make it to the end? Yeah, I'll make it to the midpoint of this with this little bit of yarn on this ball. Come on, fix that stitch. Weird, the chat just jumped. Nobody was. It's probably a issue with Twitch. Sometimes it'll act up. Okay, I gotta untangle this because I'm at the very, very end. And that was the middle of the ball. Alrighty. Yeah, gonna make it to the middle of the row here. Yeah. Ah, all right. Couple more chains. If I knew how to do a chain, I'm getting it. Okay, I don't have enough to do the next part. So I think we're going to leave it there for tonight. Let me put my stitch marker in so I don't lose that loop. Yeah, put it in there. Made some progress on it and not that much frogging. All right, all right, everybody, we're going to go and switch that back. Thank you, everybody who came into stream tonight, and thank you for the followers I got this evening. I'm now up to 104. Oh yeah, definitely, lady. Didn't know you were here, but welcome. Glad. Hope you enjoyed. Um, I'll let everybody know when I decide what day I'm going to do the marathon stream, and I don't know how many hours I'm going to do that day. I'm not going to do 24 hours. That's too much. Way too much. So that will be coming up sometime soon. I'll keep everybody posted. Probably posted in the Discord. Check out my YouTube channel, which the link just popped up, and the Discord I just mentioned. Also, tomorrow night will be temperature blanket as usual, and Monday is the first day of Granny Week, Monday through Saturday. Hopefully, everybody can make it and tune in at some point during Granny Week. Got lots and lots of cool, interesting patterns to show. Wait a minute. Why is that frozen? Wait a minute. Oh, it's not frozen. It's frozen on my preview. Okay. Don't mind me. Um. So yeah, temperature blanket tomorrow, Granny Week, marathon stream coming up sometime in the next few weeks or so to be announced. I think that's it for tonight. I'm not gonna find anybody to raid tonight. I got a bunch of behind the scenes stuff to do. So everybody have a good evening. Everybody have a good holiday if you celebrate. I will chat with you all tomorrow. And happy crafting!